Chai After Dark includes adult language and NSFW content. If you have auntie sensibilities or uncle sensibilities, this podcast may not be for you.
Hey, party people, on this side of Halloween, it is Captain Ron here from greatpods.co. Remember to go check it out. It's that day, time, and episode where we finish Season 1, Episode 8 of Indian Matchmaking. If you're enjoying our banter, our commentary, or weirdness, send us a message on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. We'd love to hear from you. This is a shorter episode than usual because the actual episode is shorter. It's titled Adjustment and Compromise. Akshay makes a decision while a new path emerges for Rupam. Ankita has an empowering realization as her clients move on. Seema's work never stops. Enjoy. Dude,
why are we all wearing pink today? What the fuck?
Well, this is the closest to pink I got, except for the pink hat.
The singer?
This is my Luis from Bob's Burgers.
Are you going to wear that hat the whole time? It's a little distracting.
Sure. I could.
Is it really distracting to you, Sameem? Is it going to interfere with your ability to talk to your microphone?
Yeah, it's pretty tough to talk about pretty auntie.
You know, the pink has always been a women's march type of thing.
I know. I even have a pink mic.
Yeah, pink is for women, not men.
So then why are you wearing pink?
I'm not Akshay. I don't care about gender norms.
You're excited like Akshay now, finally? My mom's happy. I'm happy. Happy. Can you count how many times people said happy this episode?
There's nobody that was
as
happy.
If they were
this is the dumbest.
Except for Akshay was happy. He's like, I'm happy.
I don't think Akshay knows how a feeling feels.
That's a good point.
I don't think he knows what anything feels like, bro.
He definitely doesn't know how anything feels.
You don't think?
Actually, you know what? I was happy. They've hammered us so much that I'm happy that Preeti Auntie is happy. Like, get off my butt too. Like, as if Preeti Auntie was going to arrange my marriage. I'm like, no, get off. Please stay away from me. I couldn't handle her.
No, she doesn't care about you.
I know she.
Yeah,
does.
she doesn't care about you. You didn't come out of her.
Oh, jeepers. What's going on in your week, guys?
Last night I went to a party for a friend of mine. She's a musician. So I went there. It wasn't super far from my house. I had a good time. I met a lot of new people. They were all musicians. Not all of them, but like 70%. And then every single person was like, are you a musician? Are you a musician? Are you a musician? And by the end of the night, I've had like super like imposter syndrome. I'm like, I don't do anything.
Uh-oh.
I told 2 people I had a podcast and then I like took it back. I'm like, it's not that impressive. And then they started like playing their instruments like in their living room, and everybody was super good.
What are you talking about? They didn't want to.
You should have taken the flyers. Like, hey, I need to give you flyers. Can we be
on your podcast?
I was the only person of color there, so the only other color was bright white.
And nobody asked to be on the podcast.
One girl was asking me, what is the craziest thing I've ever done when I was drinking? And I was like, I don't have any stories for you, but if you want to listen to some of my bullshit, you can follow the podcast. And she totally did. So that was cool.
Wow, yeah. Really? Oh my God.
She's like, this is the best way to get to know you. And I was like, well, I'm never going to get to know you. So I don't know why you want to get to know me so bad. But it was a fun night.
Funny. That reminds me of, that one time when we were at that one party and then this girl was like to Sameem, what do you do? And then Sameem was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I had I'm not trying to show off. Like, these listeners are like, what are you talking about?
You go to music parties and stuff? Wow,
it
no
wasn't
Diddy.
Like that. There was another girl and she like walks up to me and then I talked to her for like 15 minutes. And then she didn't like ignore me the rest of the night, but she definitely like didn't talk to me the rest of the night. Yeah.
I was gonna say she wanted to write some new song about you.
She's pretty good. I added her on Instagram. Yeah.
All right, let's see
No,
it.
no, no,
Let's
no.
see it. Let's do a live.
No, don't do
let's do
that.
a live look.
Yeah.
Too bad we're not dropping this episode on Wednesdays, because then we could be like, on Wednesdays we wear pink.
Oh my god, what's wrong with you? Wait, is that a thing?
That's from Mean Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Mean Girls reference.
That's really fetch. You're right. We should have done that.
Yeah.
Imran, who are you texting while we're recording a podcast?
Don't worry about it.
Imran's got a girlfriend. KISSING. Sitting in that love den tree.
Well, did she even follow you back?
Or
you're just like one way follow? It's like you had your chance. I'm not gonna follow you back.
Who are you texting for real? I've never seen you so giddy and texting at the same time. Are you bumbling?
No,
Are you
no,
hinging?
relax. Hold on.
Wow, look at this guy.
Wait, you're trying to find this musician girl?
Yeah.
How could he? That doesn't even make any sense. Dude, there's going to be like 15, 16 musicians.
The verified. I'm just looking at the verified. Yeah, well, I definitely know it's not Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
okay?
It was.
So.
It was Zach De La Rocha
Yeah, okay.
for Rage Against the Machine. He was looking really pretty.
So you were going to hook up with Zach? Well, his
hey.
name is following Nadia.
I followed Nadia because on that first episode, we were asking each other how many followers Aparna has versus Nadia. So I looked it up and I followed her.
And then you saw that Nadia has less, so you're like, let me give her one more.
Yeah, she needed to get up to 130,000. She needed me so bad.
She needed 130,001.
This might be the creepiest thing Imran's ever done. I had a 5-minute conversation with someone, and you're trying to find them on my Instagram.
I know what it is.
All right, text it to us. 50-50, you're going to get it wrong.
This is my 50-50.
Oh, is that right?
Look.
All right. What did you do?
So this week I went out to a birthday dinner with my friends. One of my friends, like Samim, is going through a divorce, and she listens to this podcast. She's a fan. So she had a friend who decided that this is her, birthday, and she wants to do something nice for her. So she sent an email out to a bunch of our mutual friends, and she asked everybody, "Hey, it's her birthday. Here's her Venmo."
Damn, she got paid.
Do you think friends would Venmo you on your birthday if someone asked them to?
Hell no. Brown people don't Venmo. They steal your shit instead.
What have you stolen from Shubnam's place when we're all?
I didn't steal anything from Shubnam's place, but I remember when Shubnam got her apartment in San Jose,
the San Jose
2014, 2013. She was so excited. You had that telescope looking lamp thing.
Oh yeah. It's in my garage now. I need to sell it.
Oh, dude, no, can I have it? It was the funkiest looking lamp I've ever seen. I was like, I'm gonna take this shit if it's still with you.
If you are you gonna drive out here? You
can you ship it?
You're never
oversized package.
If you pay for the shipping, sure.
So you thought about it. You had a theft list.
Yeah, I knew Shubnam when she was out of her apartment. I could have easily broken in there. Easily.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for admitting to attempted robbery.
It's okay.
Wow.
Hey, we talk about people that are kidnapping children, so why can't I be an armed robber?
Shubnam almost had a spit take.
I know.
Yeah.
That would have been
Almost
good.
got her. Dude, this episode sucked, right, Imran?
This episode sucked ass. There's no closure.
This is a great segue. Let's get right into it.
I didn't pull up my notes.
It sucked.
There's no notes. This is gonna go raw because I'm so mad at this episode.
You're gonna raw dog
the shit out of this episode. I'm so pissed.
Hashtag relevant. Okay, well, I got no stories except just going to campus a lot, finding a co-technical founder, engineering assist on Great Pods. So if you guys are looking to help out on a startup like Great Pods, hit me up. hello@greatpods.co. That's my update for the week. Jai people, let's get into it. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to the finale edition of Indian Matchmaking Season 1, Episode 8.
Finish him.
From Jai After Dark.
Chai.
All right.
Move your hat up a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
wear my trucker hat, my Great Pods trucker hat. You can find at the Great Pods merch store on TeePublic, but you can also get Chai After Dark merch, right? Where can we find that?
No, that's not on TeePublic, man.
That's a good answer.
We need to get that on TeePublic. But
the first 2 people to email us get free shirts. Let's do that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
First 2 email. Yeah.
We didn't even like run this by the team.
Dude.
Some was just going out like, all right, we're doing
I'm a marketing guru.
Send your size. Yeah, send your size and we'll get you one.
All right. I guess we got a new deal here. So, hey, if you want Chai After Dark merch, like a t-shirt, email us the first 2 people, you said?
Yes.
So first 2 people that email us at chaiafterdark@chaiafterdark.com. And you have to be a registered newsletter subscriber. All that information is out there on the Chai After Dark at chaiafterdark.com. Yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. And the first 2 people get a t-shirt. And we'll require you to send us a picture so we can post it up. Thank you.
That's pretty demanding.
But let's get into this. Let's get into this bish of an episode because we are frustrated with this finale. It didn't feel like a finale. It just kind of had some semi-closures, but not a whole lot, especially the ones that we've gotten to know throughout the season, which is deeply frustrating. It was kind of a sad finale. In between, I did have one piece of joy in there, but we'll get to that when we get to that person. But other than that, man, what do you guys?
It felt like an interlude. It didn't feel like a finale. It felt literally like an interlude. And I think that's what they want it to be. They want to reel you back in. But we are just here to tell them we have way too much PTSD over season 1 and we need a break. And we don't care that you didn't give us the storylines we wanted. It's too much.
And
too much. Even though it's a short episode, it was.
She wasn't even in the first 12 minutes. I think Netflix was like, "We can't do this to our viewers," so they put the dad in.
Yeah, let's set the scene here because Samim is ready to just go into the Preeti Bash party right away. So we start the finale off with Akshay, and if you remember Akshay, his mom is Preeti Auntie, and Preeti Auntie is an overbearing, protective, sheltering mother of Akshay in Bombay. They're in Bombay, right?
Yeah.
And so we see Akshay in his office window. It looks like an office window on the phone, and
Netflix is trolling him with this music. Like they're trolling him with this mature, dignified music. Like he's quote unquote demure and mindful. And it's just like chef's kiss, like hilarious the way they troll him.
He's talking to Radhika, his betrothed. The conversation is just, and he kind of describes it later like he has this childish love. Yeah. And so it really, like, throughout all these episodes, he is just a child experiencing talking to the opposite sex for the first time outside of his family, immediate family. He doesn't know how to converse to the opposite sex. It is deeply frustrating that, he's like calling her and it's like, tell me something about you. I'm like, dude, have you not been talking to her? What about that first time that you met? Did you not ask her, tell me something about you? What is with your nervousness? I get it when I was in high school, college, early college, whatever, but I was still talking to the opposite sex. At least I knew how to interact with them. What's your guys' hot take so far? That you like dogs and all?
Oh my God.
Yeah. He says, I'm like, do you like dogs and all? And then she's like, I like dogs. Yeah, they're loyal, nah? And then he says, I mean, yeah.
Obviously.
And then she says, I don't like cats. I'm scared. And he says, yeah, nobody likes cats. It's not good. And she says, what are you doing now? And he says, I'm talking to you only.
Oh my God.
And that was the whole conversation.
That's the extent of the conversation. Oh my God, I'm falling in love. What? With what? There's no.
The only other thing he said was, he's like, I'm traveling. And she didn't even ask where he was traveling. That's how lame their conversation was.
It sounds like the makings of a very like functional communicative marriage.
Oh man. I guess if they're both on the same page of how much they talk, then it works out.
I mean,
maybe
quiet people get married too, right? Like they have to.
That's right. I suppose so. At the end of this conversation, at the end of this cut, that was a bust. At the end of the scene, I Oh, I just kept on saying, "Come on, man." He ends the conversation with a quote saying, "What's up?" Why are you ending a conversation that's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like you've already talked to her for, I don't know, it could have been 30 seconds. Who knows how long they were talking for about dogs and stammering and tell me something about you. But yeah, I didn't like the way it ended. Obviously, with the what's up, there's nothing robust. I also think Netflix or the producers were struggling to find something out of this guy, some
Yeah.
conversation. They were really pushing him to talk. He really didn't want to be there. I want to find out also who applied him to Indian Matchmaking.
His
Yeah,
mom,
Or
100% it was his
obviously.
mom.
How is that
Yeah.
even a question?
yeah,
She
how did
was like, now there's going to be Netflix is going to chew his brain and I will chew his brain and then I'll have my happy ending.
Ugh.
well
Preaching Auntie's never had a happy ending.
well
I mean, other than her first son getting
so
married. Sorry.
So we head over with Akshay and his dad. And the one thing I noticed in the musical break is that they're in this, it looks like a fancy made up room, but the music that was being played is very Hollywood violin.
Yeah.
And my interpretation of Hollywood violin music, especially like old Hollywood, is like, oh, we're trying to class up this joint. So they have that music transitioning into that scene where Akshay is in his Gucci jacket.
Yeah, I
If you
noticed
notice,
that.
the very Gucci jacket, and his dad asking him about Radhika, and like the same conversations we've seen over and over again. Akshay's demeanor, of course, he just wants this over with. Like, get this episode, get this thing, like a part of my life, done with, please.
I felt the same way. I paused the episode because I'm like, how long is this fucking episode? And I was 6 minutes in because it felt like it was 30 minutes already. I don't understand. Once you show Akshay staring off into space in that first 2 minutes of this entire season, there's not much else to it. Like he
Yeah.
has,
There's
there's
no
no
growth. We have not seen any growth of this character from
not
beginning
even
to
growth.
end.
It's just I mean, there might be some like autism involved or something. Like, can't say really, but he's just been beaten down by his mom to the point where if you never let someone talk growing up, how's he going to talk in his 20s, right? Like, he has no way
Yeah.
he can talk to a member of the opposite sex. I'm not good at it either, but I also am not trying to get married, so it doesn't really matter. But dude, the dad was 100.
You're like an expert at getting married.
Yeah, I'm an expert at getting married. I'm not great at like. Actually, yeah. How did I get married if I can't talk to girls? Then it's kind of hard to explain.
Well, apparently they all come up to you.
Yeah, that's what happens. They come up to you.
You guys are making me blush.
Don't sit next to Samim in any kind of like work, school, class situation unless you're ready for marriage.
Or
yeah,
come at me.
You better just see your future right now.
Yeah, I mean, I like to imagine the tens of listeners that we have. The females are scrambling to look at my LinkedIn to see where I'm going to be next.
They just need to hang around San Diego, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
No, it has to be like a consistent thing, like a class or work or something. It can't just be one day because then he'll be like,
yeah, I won't remember.
Yeah, he'll leave. It has to be like this repeated thing for him to like.
Yeah. Which is a great segue. San Diego is a great segue for our next scene. But before I get there, just going to finish off what Akshay is doing. When next thing I see him doing, the camera cuts to his hands, and they're just fidgeting the entire time talking to his dad. He's just like moving his hands around, just fidgeting. And his dad is like, how are you going to placate your mom?
Yeah. And there's a TikTok in the background. Did you guys hear that clock? Tick tock, tick.
I thought
Netflix
put that in.
I think they did because it's hilarious. Yeah.
This entire episode was very music driven. The music is it was like almost Disney like throughout the episodes.
Yeah.
And so perfect segue of San Diego going off to our newish player in the game. We met her, Rupam, last episode. Punjabi Sikh, divorced with a daughter. We remember her dad was very, he's jolly Sikh dad, but also strict at the same time. I don't think he has any facial expressions, that's for sure. He had said no to the first bio data that popped up because there's a divorced Sikh with a child. But remember, that guy was from San Diego also. I was like, oh, there's San Diego right there. Okay. But there were some other biodatas that came into the mix as well. There's one other dude in the biodata mix from San Diego.
Yeah, what's it with San
what's
Diego? A
wrong?
lot of guys in San Diego be trying to get married.
You know
Yeah,
why? You know
what is
exactly
with
why. Because we talked about this.
everybody who's divorced goes to San Diego.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
includes Samim.
I mean,
Or everybody goes to San Diego and gets divorced.
actually, yeah,
right?
I moved here with my wife, so I don't know if this is true, and that's not why we moved here, obviously, because I wasn't single when I moved here. But every like top 10 list to meet women, etc., it's New York first and San Diego second, and it's
Wow.
like the guys here are pretty chill, pretty cool, but the girls here like outnumber the men, from what I can tell, and I haven't like dated anybody, of course, but
What was that other podcaster? What was that other
Yeah,
podcast?
Srini.
Yeah.
Srini's
down
there.
So we're back in Denver, Colorado, where Rupam is at with her friend Emily. They're at a restaurant bar.
that's not her friend. She was like some extra they pulled in because she's like, what do you think about biodata? It's like the most generic question on earth that the producers told her to ask.
Do you think
That's
she was Vyasar's friend too? Because there was a white girl in Vyasar's friend scene. Like, I don't know. If it's
There
the
was like
same
a couple
person.
that didn't know anything about him.
It's like, hey, we need you. Can you fly over? And so that's where they're going over the biodata that she's receiving. One of the biodata, the dude is from San Diego. The other dude, VM Singh, she had went on a date with him already.
Oh.
And so she got matched up with him on the biodata circuit. But she denies them all because she has a bombshell to report that she met somebody off of Bumble.
Wow.
Bumble, the dating app. Sikh guy and single parent.
Yeah.
Humble. They talk on the phone every day. He sent her stargazer flowers with a note that says, I love you.
Ew.
And her friends ask if she sees it going anywhere. And she says, I don't know. But it's like, dude, he sent you stargazers that said, I love you. I think you can see it going freaking somewhere.
So that right there, she had a complete sentence that she was going to say, I don't know right away. They immediately cut the off. I gave it 2 beats because they want you to sense the hesitation in her voice, which wasn't really there. She's just like, I don't know. Like, I felt like that's the conversation she was having. And so the editors made it,
yeah,
she's thinking about it. I don't know. She's scared about it. I don't know. And then they cut back to her saying it. So there's deliberate edits. We see that with Akshay's family all the time, mostly Akshay. And we start to see that with our Delhi independent lady as well a little later. But now we head back to our favorite Akshay. And he's
our
I was like,
favorite
who's there? Like somebody cool?
I know, Vyasar, man. Where is he? So Akshay FaceTimes Manshar, his cousin. And this is probably the biggest smile that he's had on his face. Every time he's laughed or smiled, it's around Manshar, his cousin. And he's sitting in his lavish, huge, king-size bed.
In like a collared shirt.
Yeah, he looked like Aladdin from The Dictator. Like, that's literally what his bedroom looked like.
Yeah. It was like, this is weird to be FaceTiming from there, but fine. You know, you're really showing off your home, the indoors of your home.
It was like, why was he under the covers like that? Right?
You know
like, it's
why?
like, was he wearing no pants?
Yeah. He's talking to his cousin.
Yeah. How did you just wake up in a collared shirt? Like, he didn't just wake up.
He's talking to his cousin. He wanted to get cozy before he talked to his cousin, who was his cousin, his first cousin. He wanted to talk to her in bed without his pants on. His cousin.
Yeah. Yes. We got. Yeah. Wait, is it first cousin or second?
Dude, we
cousin?
didn't put him in bed.
First
They
cousin,
decided to put him in a regal ass bed. He looked like if.
And under the covers.
covers.
Like, you know, if you were just like, you could sit on the bed, you fine.
So he's talking to Mancha. Mancha is like making fun of him also and just riding him like the cool
riding
cousin
him.
would.
Just ride it, my pony.
Are you okay? I feel like he's more excited to talk to Mancha. What does he end up telling her in this section of the conversation?
He breaks the news to her and he decided to say yes. He decided to say yes to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
That he will reluctantly go along with the marriage to Radhika. It's the weirdest thing because he keeps saying, I decided to say yes. And it's like, I don't think Radhika's asking you anything. I think it's your mom. You know, it's just like the weirdest
And I don't
thing.
think she's asking. She's telling him.
Yeah.
Well, Radhika was an
She's saying,
instant
"You
yes,
are."
right? Because she they say that she has a decision. I'm sure she could have said no, but she wasn't going to say no. Like, it seems like she was super into it. So he had to say yes. I don't know. Because her intention seems like
I get
she was
that
a
feeling
yes
as
from when
well.
she walked in, when they were on that patio at
Yeah.
the Four Seasons. No, at the Taj
I mean,
Mahal.
how could you say no to somebody that says, "What's up?"
You like dogs?
at the end of the conversation?
You like doggy?
How
You like
could
doggy dogs?
how could you say no to somebody with a trunk full of Xavier
Ooh, oh, then the Xavier
and
comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
and a
we get
king size
I'm-
bed?
heck yeah.
Do they need two? They need two
Uh,
twin beds. That's what they need. They don't need a king bed.
They need to do how they did in the 1950s TV shows like I Love Lucy. In the first season, they had two separate twin
Yeah,
beds.
exactly.
And eventually, they put them together.
Akshay and
but
Radhika do not need a conjoined bed. We know this for a fact.
no, she just needs a working quarters. Preeti Auntie is probably going to put her in the servant quarters.
Oh my god!
Like Cinderella, like Cinderella. Like here, you can do the mopping and cleaning and all that stuff.
And then he says, "This is the kind of feeling I didn't get in the past with anyone I met. What more could you ask for?" It's like, what feeling? The feeling when she told you that she doesn't like cats and she likes dogs. Like, what was the
This
feeling?
shit's fake, dude. Like, this episode really did it for me, man. I know we keep talking about it, but they had such little content that they ripped out Nadia, they ripped out Aparna, bare boned this episode to almost like
Don't forget Vyasar, our boy Vyasar.
It's just like they didn't have anything. There's just not much to like first dates, right? And I don't really think Netflix was following these people around for years, right? It was a quick turnaround. So I don't know. I got really bored by this episode. Overall, the season was fun, but I think it's because we were talking about it. I don't think I would watch this shit on my own.
Yeah, but I feel like also part of it is that they see people, they're not going to open up about what they're feeling in the arranged marriage process and blah. I don't think that first meeting with Radhika that they showed was the real first meeting with Radhika. I don't think that was. And I don't think Preeti Auntie would allow it. Preeti Auntie would be like, I'm going to vet these people, make sure this is a go before I have something taped by Netflix with a different girl that he doesn't end up marrying.
She's
or
also
getting engaged
stupid,
to.
so she probably has a terrible sense of judgment about people. So I don't know.
Are you talking about Seema Auntie or Radhika?
No, neither.
Preeti Auntie.
Preeti Auntie. Seema Auntie's cool. Radhika is definitely cool. And then Preeti Auntie sucks.
Radhika's just a little girl. Yeah. She's like just young, like nice.
Yeah, but
girl,
she wants to work, and she wants to be independent. And I think it ends up being a problem.
Mancha says she's going to help Akshay, style Akshay for his wedding occasions because she's seen how he's dressed. And I'm like, maybe he'll end up in a tube top with sock sleeves too. Who knows? I mean,
Mancha's got some style for sure.
Well, yeah. Mancha's probably like, why the hell are you wearing a collared shirt in bed also? She's like, why?
Exactly.
Dude, we definitely need to work on your style.
So Shabnam sent a Reddit link about Indian matchmaking. So I was checking it out this morning. And 90% of the comments were, and this is not us guys, this is Reddit comments. 90% of the comments were Akshay's either gay, which I don't think he is, and Preeti Auntie's a huge bitch. So I just wanted to put that validation out there. What'd you find, Imran?
So it was one of the early comments on that Reddit post, and it was from GenDead010, making sure we attribute who we
shout out GenDead10010.
And so whoever they are says that he's an educated, good-looking kid from a wealthy family. The fact that they need a matchmaker and no one in the community is suggesting their daughter tells me that the whole community knows what a raging bitch Preeti is.
Not our words.
Like,
not our words. But I agree.
Not our words, but chef's kiss. Hey. As soon as Imran did the chef's kiss, I mean, was like, not our words.
Let's have this guy on. Let's have this person on. Jen 101.
GenDead010 from Reddit.
Reach out to us on email if you're listening to this.
chaiafterdark@chaiafterdark.com.
One of the billion Reddit users should be listening to this.
But yeah, just to back up your percentage is on how many people think Preeti Auntie is a raging bitch. There was a lot. There was a lot in that thread, as you can tell. So Yeah, there's a lot of Preeti hate. I want to be clear on my behalf. Again, I'll do another reminder. I'll probably do reminders throughout episodes. Is that this is based off of the characters on the show. This is a show, even though it's a reality show. We're commenting on how they are portrayed to us. We don't know how they are in real life. Obviously, context is king. And so knowing more context around them, we'll know more about them and empathize with them. But these guys have really been portrayed as villainous, the mother-in-law being the evil mother-in-law that we've known watching Bollywood movies has really come to life.
And I wouldn't say that I hate her. I would more say she gives me Preeti SD.
A lot of PTSD. Samim, you can see it in Samim's eyes. PTSD. But let's get off of Preeti.
Gladly.
And head over to New York City, where Rupam travels to see her sister, Manu. And Manu is married to a Black American man.
Andrew.
And, now she says American man, and I know. I don't know if this is maybe a race conversation here, but she says American man. She doesn't. We see a Black American man, and I think that's something we should point out.
No, yeah, because I feel like when they see people say American person, like they mean a white person. If it was not a white person, they would specify. Like just general American means white person, but then
what would they say?
If it was Black, they would say Black person.
Really?
Black man.
No, the parentals would say something like that. I think we know better. We're in this society. Parents, oftentimes when we refer to American, I think in our society, they'll refer to white default. And it's like, no, we got everybody.
And I feel like Rupam is trying to little bit like sanitize and make things a little nicer and cover up for something. Like that's what Rupam seems to be doing. And I feel like this was part of that. Like instead of being like, my sister married a Black guy and that's why my dad's so traumatized and really needs me to marry a Sikh man, she's like, my sister married an American. And it's like,
yeah, it was pretty light. Yeah.
Like, wait, weren't you? I guess she came here when she was what, 3, 4 years old or something? Yeah. She was born in India, but she's an American citizen. So what is wrong with saying that you're an American also?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's parents' generation or immigrants from South Asia that when they call somebody American, they mean white. And if somebody's something else, they'll specify that. Right?
What do you think American aunties would prefer? A Black American or a white American?
Okay, so now Samim just did it. He just did it. American aunties. So you're saying like white aunties?
Yeah, dude, you're saying what would like a white American auntie, what would she prefer for her kid?
Okay, yeah, let's broaden it up. So when I say American auntie, yeah, I also mean like a white American lady that is very conservative and, I've never met any, but I know they exist.
Probably a white kid for her kid.
Okay, well, let's remove the white kid. Like I don't know any Daisies that married Black people, so I don't know how an auntie would even refer to a Black person.
I knew a girl in like college who was half Black and half Pakistani, and she called herself Blackistani.
She sounds cool, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of somebody who's running for president right now. Right?
What are you talking about? Is she married a white guy?
No, I know. Actually,
I
know
her mom was South Indian, married a
That's
Black
some bold ass shit.
Professor.
Yeah, he's
American
like a professor.
Yeah.
My roommate in college for like a short time's sister was married to a half white, half Black guy, and they had like 3-4 kids.
And I know of 1 or 2 happily married, no divorce. Happily married.
All right, now we're just like this is all anecdotal, dude. We're just saying random ass people we know.
But you said you don't know any Pakistani that's married a Black person. I can think of like 2 off the top of my head.
I probably know someone.
Oh, and dude, but the girl that asked you what you do when you ran away, she married a Black guy, really? And they have a kid. Yeah, and
what is the story?
So it was 2014 or 2015. I threw my back out that morning, so I was in such a bad mood, and I had to drive like this. But it's only like 10 minutes from my house. So we get there, and like I didn't know that it was like a party. A couple white guys were there because a couple Indian girls were. Oh, I think Imran actually knows those guys.
Oh, was it that?
Yeah, I don't think you were there.
You're sitting by yourself. It's the picture where you're sitting by yourself, like
Bernie
Sanders picture that we took a picture.
So like
right?
10 minutes before that, I was also standing by myself or walking by myself or something, and she was being super nice. And now I still feel bad to this day because she wasn't hitting on me or anything. I know she wasn't. And at that point, I was like really annoyed with tech and stuff, even though this was like 10 years ago and I'm still in it. And she's like, "What do you do for a living?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter." Like literally, I said that to her.
Oh, this is
Yeah, I said it to her face, and it probably wasn't cool.
It's fine. I'm sure she's over it, and so are you.
I'm not over. You guys bring it up all the time. I'll reach out to her. I'm really sorry.
Did you say she's?
I don't even know how I got married, and you guys are totally right. I'm like such a fucking space face. Like I cannot remember anything.
Isn't this happen? Like, how is J-Lo or Elizabeth Taylor, for that matter? Like, how are they getting married 6-7 times and so on? Like, what?
J-Lo didn't get married 6-7 times. She's been
Elizabeth Taylor did.
Elizabeth Taylor was engaged like 8 times.
It's just power and money. It's charisma, dude. You don't feel it.
It's Riz.
You don't feel
Riz. You give off that Riz vibe.
Okay, but the best part about this was that they're looking at pictures and Manu says, is this when we went to Paris? And Rupam goes, "That is when you said you were sick, but then you still ate fried chicken." Right after she says that she's married to a
What the fuck? I know.
I was like, "Whoa, this is really weird." I feel like Netflix is trolling everyone in this episode.
Dude, they cut out that entire... So that scene is like 40 seconds long, right? It's not a long scene. And the only thing they say is she's married to an American. He doesn't talk. They cut to a black man. And then she's like, "I met a guy on Bumble." And then she's like, "We went to Paris and you ate fried chicken." It was like the most ridiculous fucking scene because they cut out all the context to tie together this black guy on screen who doesn't even talk. He doesn't even say a word, and it's a quick cut.
You know, he
fried chicken.
He did get airtime. There's like, no, we're cutting this out.
They like the fried chicken connection better. I think once they said fried chicken in Paris, they're like, cut everything out and connect the fried chicken thing. Dude, Netflix did a weird job this episode. This was such a strange episode.
But I feel like they were trolling her because they were just like, "We're just going to leave this in." It was just the weirdest.
Well, she was telling them to
ever.
fuck off, basically. She didn't say it in a mean way, but she's like, "I got this." I got this dude on Bumble.
Yeah.
So.
She deleted all her profiles and she's focusing on him. And then she's like, Seema Auntie really helped me to focus on one person at a time. And I'm focusing on him. And then she says, it's the realization that you can meet someone and it just feels easy and not like work. And it's just amazing. And it's like, that's nice. That's nice for her.
It's so cute.
Why does your voice just trail off even quieter and quieter?
Okay.
Yeah, why are you hating? She's like, "I'm not into this. Fuck this bitch."
Well, because it's like it's a little bit. It's just a little.
You can't make a joke about it. You can't make a joke about someone who found true love.
No, you can't. But I feel like, well, also I can relate to, like, shouldn't it feel easy? It does. It does. I think it feels easy when it's right.
What's wrong with you? It feels so right.
It feels right, and there's divine happening. Mom says that the divineness is happening, and Rupam's like, "Yeah, on Bumble, okay, yeah, I don't know about that." But I actually have a question, and this is regarding her mom and dad's situation. So mom's in New York, and dad's out in Denver. Are they divorced, or are they like so long into marriage? I've seen this also with older aunties and uncles where like one parent goes to visit the kid for a while because they have newborns and stuff like that and just hang out over there. Or is it the divorce thing? Is the mom living in New York?
I think you're right. I think there's something more to that because if you looked at the age of Manu's children, they're not that young to where she had to be there because it was like a new baby. So it's like, imagine Seema Auntie's coming to film and it's like Rupam's doing biodatas. The mom would come for that if she could.
We don't see her at all in Denver.
Yeah. So that's why I think there's something to that. Maybe that's why the dad has PTSD even more and is so like controlling because it's like his mistake, then Rupam's mistake of divorce. So he's like really traumatized.
In the last episode, he does say, "You've gotten divorced. I don't want you to make a mistake." He doesn't reference himself at all. So it's like, dude, you're going to take yourself out.
But why is he going to? He's not going to talk about it.
I know, but like the way you said it made sense to me. Like, yeah, I don't want you to make a mistake because I made a mistake. And then obviously you got divorced as well, so let's take it easy. He could have been a little bit nicer, I felt like.
And it could be 100% nothing.
Maybe that's why he got a divorce, because he's
Oh, he's a
not,
little rough around.
that
Dude,
nice.
he was like literally yelling
Yeah.
at Marty in their house. I'm like, I know she's
Take your
Take
leave.
your leave, dude. He's getting like
I'll take my leave.
bye-bye. Okay, bye sub. And I was like, wow, dude, these two hate each other.
But we do get to see briefly what he looks like, at least like, you know, from bug
Half
down.
his face.
Yeah, half his face. I was like, okay, cool. So we get to know that he is tall.
Yeah.
And he's taller than Rupam. And she made it Instagram official. And she says off the cuff also saying, but he hasn't yet. Yeah. And so we end that scene and we're off to our independent woman, Ankita, in Delhi. And she's doing her best impression from the movie Ghost of, if you remember, they're in the pottery scene. It's a romantic pottery scene. So they're making pottery, you know, going through the spinning wheel of clay. And her friend Aisha is with her. And Aisha notices that Ankita is a lot more chill in her social profiles on Instagram. And
Ankita literally lights up. Like, that was like the best comment Ankita could ever received.
she's getting Val.
Yeah.
What kind of neurotic ass shit was she posting prior to that? To see if you can see, like, if I saw your guys' Instagram, I had no fucking idea what your moods are. Like how crazy was her shit before that she can see a difference between a post. Like she must have been putting like those memes that are like, I don't need a man to be happy.
Relationship memes.
Like,
yeah.
Like
I'm an independent woman.
I mean, she says that anyways, and she is. But
Yeah.
She was cool.
Then she says, Varka, the life coach, helped her to be a new leaf. And then Aisha says, turn a new leaf. And she says, no, you'll be a new leaf, Aisha. And Aisha's like, I don't want to be a leaf. It's like,
it's kind of like Akshay's brother. He's like, we need to take the elephant out of the room. You can't.
And I would say that Ankita, I'm more in line with her for this specific episode because we don't get to see the other characters that we've grown to know. So I found her to be like a nice center point. She says that she's found a center point that grounds her. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. Like, we're with you. She's headstrong, independent, modern, as she says it. She expresses her confidence, which really shows on screen. This is where I started noticing that every other person was saying happy in variations. She said there was a happiness to her now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, the whole episode was just people saying that they were happy. Now, a lot of them you see behind their eyes and their face, be like, you're not really happy. But for her, it feels like starting off with the life coach, she really was breaking down a little bit of that wall of hers. And so I related to that in the sense of what we're doing here. Sometimes we all get a little bit of imposter syndrome, and she feel like she had that imposter syndrome locked up, and now she's able to let go of that imposter syndrome, express her confidence, much like Chai After Dark. Tying it back, we have a lot more confidence in what we're talking about. So I think I really like Ankita in the sense of her independence and what she's grown to have. So she's my favorite in this episode, even though it's a terrible episode.
Yeah, and I like the friends reference. She says, if worst comes to worst, we can be like friends and all live in an apartment together. And then Ankita says that everybody thinks Ankita is Phoebe. And then her friend...
I was like, wait a second, no way. I was like, no way either.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, first of all, no way. And then her friend says, I don't get any friends references. And then I was like, I don't like you. I was totally on board with Aisha the whole scene. I was like, Aisha's super cool. And then I was like, you know what? You're dumb, Aisha.
Oh, she's too cool. She's like, no, I don't do friends, dude.
That shit's like...
I look at A24 movies.
These kids were born in the late 90s, and that's when Friends stopped.
Yeah.
So I totally understand why she doesn't want to watch it.
No, but in India, Friends is huge, especially with the Netflixization of it all. So, like, once it hit Netflix, it was binged on like crazy. They love Friends. But the last part, there was this special short musical montage of her walking and smiling through the marketplace.
Yeah, that was cute.
And I was like, I see it. I would have chosen a different song, Natasha Bedingfield's
Release Your Inhibition,
feel the rain I feel like she perfect montage. If there's some Delhi rain or something, and she did her little arms out and does a little twirl.
Yeah.
And the song comes
what was the song?
Unwritten. It's called Unwritten.
Yeah.
Good job, Ankita. I don't need no fucking man. Like she's got it. And her business is thriving.
Yeah.
If you're on the up and up, why would you? I mean, men do that all the time in their startups, right?
Yeah.
Like,
She's killing it, dude. She has a
whatever,
need.
it's life, man.
She's got her friend. She's got her pottery.
Yeah.
Also, there was no. They weren't making anything like when they were doing the
Yeah.
pottery.
Yeah, it was just the
flat.
flesh.
It was like completely flat.
No, but have you ever done pottery? It's surprisingly
You have
hard
to like build it
get
up, right?
like
Yeah.
yeah, but it's really hard to get it started. Sometimes you need a teacher to actually get it started, like to form the
Hashtag
first
ghost.
thing. Yeah, and then
Come on, Patrick
So
Swayze, where are
romantic.
you? I mean, R.I.P. Patrick Swayze.
So let's get back to Akshay so we can finish.
Get the fuck
finish
out of here. Yeah.
Finick it. We leave Ankita. We cut to a slow guitar to Udaipur, where Preeti Auntie, Akshay, and Radhika. And you can't say Akshay and Radhika without saying Preeti Auntie. So you have to say all three of their names together. And they're doing a roka ceremony. Now, rok in Hindi or Urdu means stop. Roka is a stop ceremony, which is actually the first time I've ever heard of this ceremony. There are a lot of Indian ceremonies or Pakistani, South Asian ceremonies out there. There could be mayus or what else are there?
Haldi.
Haldis, right?
Yeah.
There could be roka or batpaki or God knows there must be like 10 words for that.
Batpaki's like Pakistani, right?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's just the same thing, different words.
We're gonna get so in trouble.
I know she's gonna say no. There's this version and this version and this version. I'm like, God damn it!
This roka was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
So anyway, this is I guess you could say this is like a batpaki for sure, roka ceremony. But this is the first time I've heard it like that, a roka ceremony, and it's just to say that okay, you're not looking for any other guys or girls. This is it. Now we're gonna start preparing for the engagement / wedding, pretty much.
Because Radhika was, I'm sure, doing that.
She might be friends with Mancha.
Style. Preeti Auntie busts out all the jewelry she's been talking about, and we've kind of briefly seen in the episodes before. It is on full display, and I cannot count how many times I've seen Preeti's Auntie's cheeks going through the roof. Like they are so wide, and she is very happy.
I don't know what
but who's more excited, mom or son?
100% the mom.
Definitely mom. Yeah. But Radhika says he's decent, sweet, and sometimes I feel like he's caring. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then she says, Mama, Papa are sweet and nice. I was like, geez, are you in for a surprise?
And she is, right?
Yeah.
Man. I don't know, man. I don't have much to say about this dumbass last ceremony. It was so dumb.
Don't hold back, Sameem.
No, but then they cut to Preeti Auntie putting a ring on Radhika, and she goes, Akshay, for your information, the first ring is not to be put on by the husband. And then they show them taking a picture together, and then she instructs Akshay, no, okay, come closer, like grab her around her waist. It's like, you guys are right, dude. She's gonna make sure there's a happy ending.
And that was telling to me. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm a Western audience, right? And so her putting on the ring, and especially for Western audiences to see that, like if you were to look into it as like reading between the lines, and especially seeing her, so the context around Preeti Auntie being an overbearing parent and always going to control things even till the day she dies, that ring on Radhika's finger, putting it on first, was just like icing on the cake of like, oh shit, Radhika, you are in it now. Like you're done. Like this is it.
Yeah. And I think that's why Netflix put it in there. But the reality is, in Desi culture, that's not the only ring she's getting. That's just probably maybe a ring that matches with her outfit, that there's a gift from Preeti Auntie for that day. So it's not like this is an engagement ring and she's putting an engagement ring on her, right? Like that's not how it is. So it's just like a kind of, I get what they were doing and it's funny, but it's like a little bit, context specific. And
that also runs into like how many different pieces of context are we going to get? We only have a 30-minute, 40-minute show to get after. So they show that in to have Western audiences kind of cringe a little bit. Like, we know where it goes on the left index finger, and you know what that means. It's supposed to be done for the husband, and if the mom is doing it, what it means as far as like the foreshadowing, which is crazy. And mom again is happy. Again, they're interviewing her. She's very stoked.
Did she say she was happy?
She was happy.
She said her blood pressure can finally go down.
Yeah.
All her tensions and BP can go back to normal. That's a good callback. I did appreciate that. That was a good callback to be the BP, because we all noticed the BP and all the tension that Akshay has been giving his mother. How dare
he be alive and not married. What a loser.
Have some wants and needs. Yeah.
And this is where mission wedding starts for the couple. And that's Akshay this season.
Thank God. Let's move on.
And then we cut to, so if you notice in a lot of the episodes, they had these elderly married couples show up and do a little storytelling about their marriages. Well, they ended up having more couples there at the end of this episode to summarize how long they've been married for. And honestly, I skipped over it. I literally fast forwarded.
The only point was that arranged marriage isn't so bad because you work towards adjusting. That was what one person said. And then another person said, somebody has to play Cupid. So this is stuff we've said all season long. Like, okay, someone needs to introduce you. So your parents introduce you. And then this concept of working towards adjusting versus getting to know someone better before you get married.
That is a great statement because that really introduces us to Richa from San Diego, because she says similarly, I'm so down to work towards love in an arranged marriage. And so working towards that love while being arranged. So I'm like, okay, cool. It just felt like, cool, you're showing a variety of arranged marriages, but bro, just show me Vyasar. where is he at? I thought the episode was ending, so it surprised me that there was another introduction here. But we're off to San Diego again for a single female. Her name is Richa. She's a new player. She's a middle child. Younger brother got married. Her older sister got married, and so she's the last one left. Of course, that pressure is understandable. We all hear it, see it, feel it. And Seema Auntie from Mumbai shows up
like the day after, like brunch reception or whatever for her brother and new sister-in-law, and Seema Auntie's there handing out her card to all the guests, and she's like getting to know Richa a little bit.
It ends up being a networking event for Seema.
I wrote that down too. So fucking stupid. Like,
and everybody's giving Richa a hard time too. Like, oh, your brother's married now too. You're next. It's like,
what is with us and saying you're next?
Yeah, what is that?
What is with society? Yeah. It's not just Indians; it's society in general.
Yeah,
saying you're next.
People are competitive. I think life is a race for everyone, unless you unsubscribe.
And people are so into the tradition of getting married that it's a must in their mind. So I think if someone says you're next, it means that in their mind, there's no life without getting married. It's happy wife, happy life, happy husband. I don't know what rhymes.
But there's always a next, right? There's a certain kind of thinking that is in multiple cultures where it's like there's always a next. Oh, you're next to get married. Oh, you're next to have a kid. Oh, you're next to have another kid. Oh, you're next to like get your kid married. Or you're next to buy a house.
And then nobody gives a shit. Like, and nobody gives a shit. Like once you get married, it's not like your life changes. Nothing. And you've talked about this in a few episodes ago where it's just life and it just kind of goes on.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's exciting. But to like kill yourself over like BP, blood pressure, and all this kind of shit. Like, I kind of felt bad for this girl from San Diego, but we don't know anything about her because the scene was so short.
It's fun and exciting, but also like I've had so many people before I got married tell me, oh, like the first year of marriage is so hard. The first year of marriage is so hard. But I think it's because most people get married like Richa. Can we just go to the fact that she has all these criteria of what she wants in a guy? Jump right into her family, ambition, passionate about work, extroverted, not a fly on the wall, likes to go to the gym.
Every cliche.
And stay fit. Yeah. Someone who can cook with her, not too dark, light skin, taller than her in 5-inch. Yeah, she actually says that, light skin. And then she says taller than her in 5-inch heels, someone with strong family values. And then she ends with just mold me and make me into a man and have the exact same family. And I'm like, dude, then you screwed up because your brother just got married. You needed to marry him. He just got married yesterday. You screwed up.
We're taking this cousins thing a little bit too far.
Yeah. I will say another callback to the first episode where Seema Auntie says, well, she's nice, she has a beautiful smile, and she's tall, slim, and trim, which was the title of the very first episode. And I was like, yo, I know that phrase. I was like, Seema Auntie, way to go. And producers, whoever wrote that line, that was a nice little book.
That's the only nice thing about closing this season. And then Seema Auntie says she has a 95 out of 100. So Seema Auntie gives her solid A. So she has the upper hand in choosing biodata. But Richa has the voice of a stand-up comedian, don't you think?
She had a pretty booming voice.
I could see that. It. Yeah. A little bit like a Bollywood actress, Rani Mukherjee. A little bit.
She had a nice voice.
Yeah.
With an American style.
Okay, I thought it was strange.
Oh, it was definitely strange, but it was a little sexy.
Okay.
Hey, dude,
Okay.
she's in San Diego.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. Oh shit. Hey, I gotta go. Hey, jingle out. Let's go.
We're gonna meet Sameem's next ex-wife.
Should we
on the
change
next
this
episode
podcast
of
to
Chai
Chai
After Dark.
After Doors?
We're calling it Chai After Dark.
That's every cup of chai.
Are we
for
beating
you.
this shit into the ground? Like, I think, like, do people want to hear this
Your
shit?
divorce?
Hey, if you guys don't want to hear about my divorces, please email us and tell us so then I can stop talking about it too.
Well, we'll have a Patreon
Yeah.
for your divorce stories. We'll keep it off the main platform. But yeah, we see Richa and she's having a good time and so on and so on. And yeah, that's it. That's how they end the season.
Nice wrap up.
No teaser into the next season. I did take a sneak peek into the next season. I just wanted to see the first minute. I was trying to skip through all the episodes to see if our boy Vyasar was in it, where Aparna was in it, where's Nadia in it. I didn't see Vyasar at all in the thumbnails or in the description. I did see a little bit of Nadia and Aparna. I didn't see Richa at all. So maybe she's not even in the second season. They just teased it in the end of the first season, and then that was it. So I don't know if you've seen it, Shabnam. Does Richa come back?
I don't think Richa comes back, and I don't think there's much Vyasar either, if I can recall. I don't know. I have too much.
So, guys, yeah, listeners, just to let you know, as you can tell by our voices and our conversation of this episode, we're not terribly excited to go over each episode of season 2. You guys can sound off, send us an email, chaiafterdark@chaiafterdark.com. If you want us to do season 2 for Indian Matchmaking, we're thinking about doing more of a summary-based version of Indian Matchmaking at a later date.
I wouldn't mind at some point in the future to go back and watch Nadia in season 2 and do like Nadia season 2 recap, right? Like I think Nadia, maybe Aparna.
And we've been talking about Vyasar in this episode. We're missing our boy. We are actually going to talk to the man himself, Vyasar, right after this episode, right?
Yeah.
So I finally turned to everybody and was like, so any questions? What full teacher mode? And half the people in the room knew that I was going to tell the story.
Next week.
Release.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome. I can already feel it. What are you guys' thoughts? don't look at me that way. Oh.
The way you closed your eyes and said feel it was
I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's Michael Jackson. Jackson 5.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm excited though, because I want to know what's going on with him, what's going on in his life, what's going on since the show, and especially since we don't get any closure here. We have no idea what Rashi said when she answered the call. So I think we should ask
He's
him
also, I think, the best person to interview because he definitely has the most unique background of anyone that came onto the show this season. It's just so interesting the way he got into the show. And yeah, we're going to have a fuck ton of questions for him.
He has a lot of depth to him too, as opposed to Akshay.
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram, Chai After Dark. Follow us on TikTok, Chai After Dark. Follow us on Substack. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Listen to us on Spotify.
Fountain. We're on Fountain too.
FM. Download that app. Send us some Bitcoin.
Yeah. Download the Substack app and listen to us on Substack as well.
Yeah.
And subscribe to the newsletter. Remember, we have that competition. The first 2 people that email us at chaiafterdark@chaiafterdark.com and are subscribed to the newsletter, we have 2 shirts. So we got 2 winners, 2 shirts. Exactly. So send us that email that you're listening in and you'll get it. Thank you for joining us on this frustrating episode of Chai After Dark. Stay tuned. We're going to announce what we're going to be watching for the seasons, but we are also going to release some off-season episodes as well.
Some specials, special edition,
as it were, for this fall, winter, as we prepare for the second season of Chai After Dark.
Let's jingle out of here. We should jingle out of here.
Jingle. I take my leave. Okay. I take my leave.
Later. This episode was produced, edited, marketed, and created by Shabnam, Captain Ron, and Sameem of Chai After Dark LLC in association with Great Pods.